Blacking China, Season 2, sponsored by Hayden T. Joseph, Certified Public Accountant. Visit us at advancedamericantax.com.
It's crazy. We think of these animals as like violent, like just inherent.
No, they're not, though. That's the thing, isn't it?
Chilling until they're hungry.
Oh, tigers. Oh, these tigers are so cute. He's lovely. Look at him, he's just chilling. He's like, I ain't got time for any of y'all.
这是黑人在中国。
黑人在中国。
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 So my name is Andrea Harvey. I came through with the Amison Year in China program, and I work at Yahua Experimental School.
My name is Ashley Evangelista. I'm with the Amison Foundation, a year in China program, and I'm at Ningbo Haishu Foreign Language School.
Okay, my name is Corinthy Paul. My program I started off with Amazon. They set me up with Helen Tackle Network, and my school is Funfield Bilingual.
My name is Dr. Nika Horton, and my program is Amison Foundation, and I work at Ningbo Haishu Foreign Language School.
So, okay, technically when I was in middle school, I took Japanese for 3 years, and that was really cool, and I had the opportunity to go to Japan, actually, in 8th grade, and I didn't go because I was really nervous and scared, and like, I was being, I don't know, 13, so I was just like, no, I'm not gonna go. So I didn't go, but when I got to college, I was in journalism. I was taking all these classes, and I was like, actually, I really hate journalism. Like, it wasn't that I hated writing, I hated the structure that went along with journalism. So I was like, what do I actually like? And I always liked foreign language. So I was like, whatever, forget it. I'm taking up a space in a journalism school for someone who really wants to be there. So I left the journalism school and started taking Arabic, actually, Arabic and Spanish. And my major was Arabic, but I was like, why don't I add Japanese onto this? So I tested for Japanese, but I tested out of the first level. And because of the way the semesters were set up, I couldn't fit it into my like schedule on time, because I definitely was adamant about graduating in 4 years. So I ended up taking Chinese, because I was like, well, if I know Arabic, Spanish, and Chinese and English, then obviously I can rule the world and talk to everybody, because that's pretty much, I'm going to say, a solid 3/4 of the population. So I ended up taking Arabic, Spanish, and Chinese for 2 semesters, and I got like really great grades in all 3. People thought like, oh, you would mix it up, but those were some of my best semesters. Coming towards, long story short, is that I stopped taking Spanish because I was intermediate, and I'm like, well, I don't need a degree in this. My family speaks Spanish. I'll just continue speaking with them or whoever. The Arabic department was very disorganized, so I left taking Arabic, so I was left with Chinese. So I was taking Mandarin, and I was like, what else am I good at? Oh, philosophy. So I joined the philosophy school, and then I graduated with 2 bachelors, one in philosophy and then one in Mandarin. So that's kind of like how that came to be. And I just wanted to put my Mandarin to use, so I was like, I guess I'll go to China. Why not?
I work in the Bronx at a nonprofit called BronxWorks. Home Base is the name of the program. It's a homelessness prevention program. So clients come to us when they have rental arrears and they're in court and they're facing eviction, and we advocate on their behalf to find financial assistance to help them pay off their arrears if they have future ability to pay their rent. So it's just like, I guess, grant writing, petitioning for financial assistance from like the state and from different organizations. We try to keep them in their apartment to avoid shelter entry and eventually homelessness.
Since I've been back, I was babysitting for a while, and then I've been volunteering for different organizations. I volunteer for the New York Children's Film Festival and this company called Rooftop Films, where they like do films on different rooftops around like in New York, around different in New York. So I've been volunteering for that. Yeah, it's interesting.
That's cool. How'd you get involved with Rooftop Films?
I found their volunteer thing on volunteermatch.com, so I just signed up, and they asked me to come in. It wasn't like an interview process or nothing. It just need extra help, like helping with the production and stuff like that, with the different filmmakers coming into New York and showing their different films and documentaries and stuff like that. It's a good way to interact with people in the industry because that's kind of like what the field I'm trying to get into.
Well, when I came back from China, I went back home and I was unemployed for the remainder of that year. And then like the next year, Kyle told me about this opportunity to teach in Qatar, and I was like, yeah, I want to get back out the country. So I went to Qatar to teach social studies for like a few months. It was very challenging. It was very different from being in China. Like the children had no discipline, like they were off the chain. Like it just wasn't really a good fit for me. So I had to get up out of there. But I don't even think they cared about education at all. Like in China, I feel like education was like a main thing. Like everyone focused on their grades, they wanted to get into a good school. But in Qatar, it didn't seem like they cared at all. Like they just did it because they had to, and they just wanted to play around. Even some of the teachers didn't really seem like they cared that much. As compared to like the teachers that I worked with in China, they were really serious about like getting those test scores up and whatever else. In the organization, China was way more organized. Even though at the time I didn't think so. But then when I went to Qatar, I was like, oh, y'all need to get it together.
I feel like, I guess kind of like if I've been to China, I can be anywhere. And that's pretty extreme. People say if you make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. I totally believe that. So I think I took that first step of like being in China, being like, what's going on? I don't know. I'm by myself technically. I mean, like, I met friends there, but I went alone. I'm living alone. I'm teaching, and I'm also hustling at the same time. I was able to become a private tutor. I traveled. I like went to the gym all the time. These are the things that I made sure I did with my time. And I guess that translates into, well, if I'm gonna pack up and go to New York, I already have experience carving out a system for myself, or carving out venues to make money or get a job. So I guess in a sense it did give me confirmation that I'm self-reliant enough to say, hey, whatever, I'm just gonna go. So I did it.
I decided that I want to be a doctor and I want to go back to medical school. But when I was in undergrad, I didn't take all the right courses that I needed to get into medical school. So like lately I've been taking the prerequisites for med school, like chemistry, physics, organic chemistry, etc., etc. So once I finish that, I'm going to take the MCAT sometime this year and hopefully apply to medical school to be a doctor. I care about people's health. Like, that's pretty much it. Like, I don't want us to die. And I feel like medicine is one of the ways that you can help people to live longer. I want people to care about their health, and being a doctor can allow me to help people. And I'm smart.
Also published like a piece on China, right?
Yeah, it was about my experience as a Black person in China. I think my expat experience and my experience as an English teacher was a bit different than, like, let's say, the white expats there, who they kind of embody what foreigners believe to be English, while I was questioned actually if I frankly could even speak English sometimes, and that was really confusing to me. So yeah, I kind of wrote about that experience and how even being there as an English teacher has its own implications.
The school wanted me to stay and the company wanted me to stay, but I knew that I didn't want to be a teacher, so I figured that if I stayed there, it was just kind of like limiting me from what I wanted to do. It's actually like what I went to school for. I want to actually put to work what I went to college for, like my degree in mass communication. So I figured if I stayed there, I would just be wasting time.
I would not go back to China to work, ever. But I will go back. It's just dealing with my employers there was terrible. It was scarring, and I was like, nah, I'm good. I don't need this anymore. Why would I put myself through this?
One thing I kind of took away when I was there, there was a saying like, why are things happening this way? What's the plan? Like, this doesn't make any sense. And you just say like, oh, it's China. Like, what can you do about it? And one thing I do think is releasing that kind of control or relinquishing that control kind of gives you a sense of you're not as urgent. Nothing is as important. And I think here in the States, we tend to make everything a pressing matter. Everything is super important. I live in New York now. Everything is a rush, a hurry. Everyone needs answers and explanations for everything. But being there really gave me perspective on not everything is going to have a clear-cut answer right away, and it doesn't necessarily have to. But as long as you're not in like immediate danger, you'll be okay. Like, just kind of chill and go with it, because things are going to happen to you no matter what, and it's all about how you react to it.
When I was in China, a lot of times I felt like I was just alone, like I didn't have anybody to talk to, or like I didn't have anything, anywhere I could go where I felt like I belonged there. So I had to like find my sense of belonging in like my oasis within myself. And I feel like that's something I can take with me every day. Like when I'm struggling through a situation, I can always turn to myself and know that I'm strong enough to get through it myself.
It helped me to realize what I want and what I don't want when it comes to jobs and working for people. What will I put up with and what I won't? You know, where one time, like my supervisor in China tried to make me apologize for something I wasn't sorry for. And I was like, I'm not going to apologize. Like, what is this? I'm not a child, you know? And they're like, we're just going to sit here and wait until you apologize. And I'm just like, cool. So we sat there for some time, and then they were like, oh, okay, well, just don't do it again, okay? And I'm like, all right. I mean, I understand it was a bit unprofessional, I'll admit that. But like, I'm not going to say sorry for something I'm not sorry for. So working in China, then working in my organization, it did make it easier, because I'm like, wait, this is it? I can do this, like, whatever. But some of the problems are like different in the sense that it's a non-profit, and which is obviously a lot different than like the Chinese schools I taught at, which were for-profit. And all they cared about was money, you know? But here, our organization has internal problems where there are like people, like staff members, who shouldn't be working at the organization anymore. Like, but because it's a non-profit, it's hard to get fired. And if you have friends like who are higher up, of course you're not going anywhere. No matter how many complaints people do against you, you're not going anywhere. So that's problematic. I don't like that. But at this new job, some of the things that have happened, I'm like, do I really want to work for other people anymore? Or do I just want to go do my own thing? I'd rather do my own thing.
I feel like the experience in China gave me like the confidence I needed to try new things and like try new experiences, like going to Qatar. Because after I survived China for a year and completed that goal or that task, I was like, okay, I can do something else. I can do something else like this. I can do something bigger than this.
I would do it again. Like, if I got the same opportunity and someone said, hey, you want to like go to China for a bit? Sure. It didn't really seem like a place I wanted to live, but the experience was definitely worthwhile. It taught me a lot. I was able to practice my Mandarin, so that was good, being really conversational in Mandarin, but I enjoyed it.
I think it was definitely a part of the looking into myself to find peace. Maybe at the time I didn't think of it as that. Like, I was just bored and like, oh, painting, that seems like something fun to do. And then after time went on, I realized like, oh, this is something I can do when I'm feeling sad or I'm feeling alone, or, you know, whatever the case may be. And then that's something that I just took away with me and I use regularly now. It was never like, I never was like, oh, I'm gonna be a painter and I'm gonna paint. It was never like that. It was just like, this is something that makes me feel calm. This is something that makes me feel good when I'm doing it. So I just continue to do it.
Actually, on Facebook the other day, I had a pop-up like 2 years ago from, I guess, Time Hop. They acquired that. And it was a picture of me and all my friends from China in Nanjing, I believe. There was also one from Shanghai. And I don't know, it was really fun knowing that we all came together and had a good time in China. I miss the food. The food was so good. And I definitely miss my students, my little munchkins.
I thought China was like a nice place, but I didn't like living there. After about like 5 or 6 months, I was pretty much over it and I wanted to go home.
If I did have the choice, I probably would have stayed the next year. If I But looking back, I probably would have decided to stay another year until I had something concrete back here. But yeah, I made the decision, and I'm trying to work towards making it a good decision. Just volunteering, working at different places, trying to get my foot into my field.
It's really important to experience life outside of your comfort zone, outside of just the bubble that's your town, your neighborhood, your state, even your country. Because like I mentioned throughout this, like there's a different approach to life and different philosophy towards life everywhere you go. So if you have the opportunity to spend some time in that environment, it can help shape you and your beliefs and how you want to function on a day-to-day basis, besides just knowing one thing. That's my biggest takeaway. Do it.
As much as I talk badly about it and say I hated it, like it was definitely worth it. Like I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about China, and like my whole view of the world changed. And I think that experience did help me to decide what I wanted to do next. It wasn't really like it started out as like since I don't know what I want to do, I'm gonna just do this instead. But like that experience definitely helped me in the future to decide what I wanted to do and what I didn't want to do. Like, I don't want to do this, but I know I do like this.